Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Unscripted on 13 Plus. I'm Carson Courier. Now, crazy to believe, but Election Day is just a little less than 3 weeks away, and early voting is officially underway here in Arizona. So, our very own Andres Rendon has everything you need to know about the early voting process.
First things first, ballots are received at the Postal Service with lots of cameras and very restricted access before they head on to the Elections Department and counted. But security is a big, crucial part to making sure that elections are safe, and that starts all the way from the beginning with voter registration.
We do daily maintenance on our voter list as a whole and go through many checks, many procedures to ensure that we are only registering valid voters. People have to swear an oath that they are a U.S. citizen. They have to meet the criteria of voter registration before we make a record for them.
In the 6 main steps of an early ballots process, a lot of emphasis is placed on verifying a voter and their signature before the ballot is counted. So once the post office receives the ballots and the affidavits are removed from the return envelope and scanned, they make sure that the person who filled out their ballot is who they say they are. Now, throughout this process, bipartisan teams work together to ensure that the ballot makes it safe to the Elections Department, but to make sure no political party has influence over a ballot as well.
Having two people of opposite parties really ensures that there is no room for bias, that there is nothing that is going to happen to your ballot affidavit, that it is held accountable by both people of opposite parties, that they are following the policies and the procedures of the office.
You can request a mail-in ballot by October 25th. The recommended mail-by date is October 29th. And of course, in-person voting on Election Day next month on November 5th. At the Pima County Recorder's Office, Andres Rendon, 13 News.
And if you didn't get your early ballot yesterday, don't worry, it should be coming into your mailbox today. The Pima County Recorder says the delay was to make sure the right ballots were going to the right people. And voters in more rural areas should get their ballot by the end of this week. And just a quick reminder, you have until October 25th to request an early ballot. The county recommends dropping off your ballot by the 29th to make sure they're received on time. Meanwhile, we do want to go to a developing story here regarding the race for sheriff, the election. We know Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has opened an investigation into 2 PCSD employees and including his political opponent, Heather Lappin. She is one of them. So it's possible a PCSD sergeant prompted this investigation through a, quote, election wrongdoing. In a release from PCSD, Sergeant Aaron Cross was identified as one of several deputies with signs which read, "Deputies don't want nanos." Now, although he was given a warning, he was wearing clothes which clearly identified him as law enforcement, and he was seen again with the same sign and similar clothing following that warning. The release says Cross was working with Lappin on her campaign and was aware of the signs, as well as where Cross would be, but not when. Lappin argues the activities are protected by the First Amendment and don't violate PCSD's rules. In addition to the release, an inquiry showed she had been working with a local reporter and accepted money in exchange for an interview with an inmate. Lappin continues to call it a political move, saying, quote, he, or Nanos, is doing whatever he can to silence a political opponent. He is chilling my freedom of speech. So we want to go ahead and take a look at our website here. Everything I just said is right here on our website, KOLD.com. If you want to read more about this or just kind of get that information again, we do know that Heather Lappin, we have reached out to her lawyer and Cross's lawyer. They are the same person. He provided a quote saying, Heather is subject to a gag order from the sheriff's office, and therefore we cannot comment on the allegations That said, should Sheriff Nanos choose to lift this gag order, she would be happy to address the allegations as she denies committing any misconduct, end quote. So Nanos said in the release that holding staff accountable is not retaliation, and he has previously overlooked things because of the campaign, but the new information cannot be ignored. Again, this is a very developing situation, something we're going to continue to monitor probably up until the election to see what happens here, but make sure to stay with us both on air and online for the very latest. We'll make sure to update you as soon as we learn more. But now we want to turn to your weather. A gorgeous picture from Mount Bigelow this morning. And the good news, the weather we've been hoping for what feels like forever is finally on its way here. So I do want to bring in 13 First Alert meteorologist Mallory Schnell this morning. And Mallory, finally some good news this morning. Such a difference even with just those cooler temperatures.
Yeah, 50s and 60s this morning. We could have 40s and 50s this weekend. Going to be a little bit chilly, so find those sweatshirts, especially for Saturday and Sunday mornings, because it's going to be a cool weekend overall. Now, starting off with the 4-panel look, once again, we are seeing a bit more cloud cover to the east today, a bit more sunshine to the west. That's because we do have what's called a backdoor cold front. Basically, that just means a cold front moving in the opposite direction of what it typically moves in. So coming in from the east, bringing areas in Cochise County, a bit of cloud cover, some breeziness as well, and even a spotty shower or thunderstorm over the higher terrain especially. You can see Cochise, Graham, Greenlee counties having that rain chance today. So maybe some virga this morning. That's that rain that evaporates before it reaches the ground, and then a better chance for a shower later on today. The next 7 days, we could see some activity off to the north and northeast with that storm system that moves in Friday into Saturday. But the model data this morning showing Tucson right at the southern edge of that. So hopefully we can squeeze out a little bit of rain by Friday night, but that will exit pretty quickly Saturday morning. So we will take a look at kind of the big weather picture here in terms of the temperatures. Of course, 94 the high today, so still technically running above normal. Still slightly above normal tomorrow, but we're down to 81 on Friday, 75 on Saturday. I believe that's going to be the coolest we've been since April, so about 6 months. 80 degrees on Sunday. You'll want to enjoy that fall-like feel because, as we know, it's not going to stick around forever. We see a lot of ups and downs during the spring and fall months, kind of these months or these seasons of transition. So your upper level pattern here showing that change arriving Friday into Saturday, that big circle, that's called an upper level low. So that's what's bringing us the cooler temperatures, the gusty winds, the little bit of added moisture as well. You can see how quickly it moves out. Sunday into Monday, we get more of those oranges and reds. That's going to allow temperatures to rebound pretty quickly. And on top of all of that, we do have gusty winds. So if you already have, I'm sure many people already have Halloween decorations out, keep that in mind, especially Friday. That's going to be the gustiest day. We could have wind gusts, I wouldn't be surprised, up to about 40 miles per hour. Wow. Yeah, but wind gusts do back off for Saturday for the game, Sunday, early next week as well. So for today, just some clouds to the east, as I mentioned, breaking apart, filling back in, spotty shower closer to the New Mexico border. Otherwise, temperatures in the 80s and 90s, lows tonight in the 50s and 60s. And then that 7-day forecast, here you go. 81 Friday, 75, mostly sunny Saturday. It's going to be gorgeous. 49 Saturday night. That's what I was talking about. Sunday morning is going to be very chilly, but then we rebound to 80 degrees by the afternoon. Should be a picture-perfect day out there. We're back up to 94 by Tuesday. So there's kind of your little taste of fall. 90s return next week. So the 70s and 80s not sticking around forever, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of these kind of ups and downs over the next few weeks. Hopefully done with the triple digits.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, so anyway, beautiful weather this weekend. That's the moral of the story.
Yes.
Just looking towards Saturday and Sunday for sure.
What we've been asking for. Awesome. Thank you, Mallory.
Of course.
So as you can see here by looking at our 7-day forecast, it's finally starting to feel like fall outside, and Halloween is just right around the corner. It's hard to believe, but there's more than just trick-or-treaters to watch out for. Some unexpected guests might be eyeing your festive decorations. We know just weeks ago, Arizona Game and Fish spotted a bear in the Rancho Vistoso community. Also, javelina, definitely something we see here quite often. Tululupea Ajayi spoke to wildlife experts. She has more on safer ways to get in the holiday spirit. Let's listen in.
Arizona Game and Fish actually recommends using pumpkins like this one for your fall decor. That's because real jack-o'-lanterns might light up our porches, but they also act as a glowing invitation to hungry animals.
Wildlife use washes to get into populated areas, and if they find food, water, and shelter there, they'll stay.
It's not just bears. You could attract javelina, coyotes, and even mountain lions into your neighborhoods. These animals are drawn to the smell of pumpkins, squash, and other fall vegetables. Game and Fish says if you do use the real ones, keep them high off the ground or show them off from inside windows. They've seen firsthand how it can pose serious issues for you and your pets when food is within reach.
When she heard a commotion outdoors, investigated, found javelina eating her pumpkins, and her dog bolted into the group. They knocked her to the ground and puncture wounded her on her thigh.
It's also important to dispose of any pumpkins or food in secure trash cans. And if you do run into any issues with wildlife, you can call Arizona Game and Fish 24/7. For more information on how to decorate safely, head to our website at KOLD.com. Reporting in Oro Valley, I'm Tallulah Payajayi, 13 News.
And speaking of pumpkins, take a look at this. A more than 1-ton pumpkin takes home the grand prize in Colorado. A different contest there, and this pumpkin definitely is a sight to see. Look at that. Next to the pumpkin, this is Brad Bledsoe. So he's a firefighter by day, but his talents off the job include growing gigantic crops, as you can see here. He smashed the state record with a pumpkin weighing 2,083 pounds. We were joking, wondering how he even got that on that trailer into the contest because, whoa, that is definitely a heavy pumpkin. He named it Winifred Sanderson after one of the Hocus Pocus sisters. How cute and festive is that? Right now, the world record is more than 2,700 pounds. So, whoa, definitely a sight to see. I don't know how long it took him to grow that pumpkin, but a big congratulations to him. And speaking of rather large pumpkins, take a look at this. This is pretty funny, I have to say. So nobody was injured here, but this video, as you can see, is a huge inflatable pumpkin that was on the loose in Ohio, and police officers were attacked by this pumpkin as they were trying to kind of get it out of the road so nobody got into a crash there. You'll be able to see here, this police officer comes up and boop, completely swallowed by the pumpkins. So definitely something he probably has never seen on the job before, a story that he's going to tell for many years to come, but just too funny not to share, especially that dash cam video. We know some backup officers arrived. The pumpkin was returned to the homeowner, but that video, oh my goodness, definitely probably gave a laugh to a lot of people. It's definitely that time of year. Taking a look outside now on your Wednesday morning. As Mallory was saying, going to be a beautiful day. 94 degrees is your high, a little bit breezy, but not too bad. And that's going to be the hottest temperature we see for quite some time, maybe until next Tuesday. And this weekend going to be absolutely gorgeous for that homecoming game against Colorado. Kickoff is 1 p.m. at Arizona Stadium. The high just 75 degrees. So we love to see it. Very exciting. Thank you so much for watching Unscripted on 13 Plus. We always want to remind you that if we say something that you want to go back and rewatch or rehear, or if you just want to tune in to some live local late breaking events, you can do so on Android TV, YouTube TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Roku. Or you can just go to our website. I think that's super easy. It's KOLD.com/livestream. Just make sure you press channel 2. Thank you all so much for watching this morning. We will be back tomorrow for another episode of Unscripted on 13 Plus. Have a great day.